Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. Oh my goodness. I couldn't wait to get to you tonight. I feel that way every Wednesday night, though. This is Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. And every week I bring to you a featured guest speaker to share their journey with you. I am Joy Ruffin, and my work is as a leadership and style consultant, a signature style specialist, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. It's all connected, it's all aligned. And my assignment is to work with you to get to know you so that you can discover all and every about you, discovering you, designing you. That's what it's all about. And that work is crucial. But tonight, my featured guest speaker is going to bring to you something. Her name is Kim Groshek. Now, I met Kim as we meet so many beautiful people online, and right away there was an instant chemistry there. I understood what she was about. Kim is a life coach, a leadership consultant, and a business coach. And it's easy to say that Kim is no ordinary individual, which you're going to find out. In fact, Kim, and I don't use these words lightly, and you'll see and hear it, she is exceptional in so many ways, impressive and very extraordinary with all the things that she's done. And tonight we're going to be talking about pause power and you and how to pause the right way. I don't think her timing could be better. So I just want you to sit back, relax, and get comfortable, whatever that is to you, whatever that means to you, and help me to welcome our featured guest speaker tonight, Kim Groshek. Kim, hello, 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 and welcome.
Hi, Joy. Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. When I met you online and we discussed something for a short time, I knew that I wanted to have you on the show. You know why, Kim? Let me be very honest here because I need desperately what you're promoting because I find, I'll tell you a little bit about that later, but tell us a little bit about, first off, your background is extraordinary. It really is. I'm not impressed with much of anything, but there are certain people and situations that are impressive to me. And one is I want to understand from you and the audience, what is pause power?
So, Pause Power is an online show, which it's actually a movement that's going to start July 17th. And everyone is going to come together for 5 days. And we're all going to take a pause each day for 15 minutes. And during that show, there's going to be all kinds of episodes with wonderful experts that are going to share what you can do when you pause. Because a lot of people these days don't take time away from all of the hustle and bustle. And what pausing is really unplugging or just walking away from things that are very busy in your life and just easily sitting in silence without technology or taking a walk outside or trying something new. So pausepower.online is a show that's going to allow everyone to come together as a community. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of really cool things during that week that I have learned in the 3 decades of experience as a consultant. So
Kim, they say when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. And when I met you, I knew it was divine intervention in the best way. Because you know why? Prior to meeting you, and then shortly after, I discovered, and it was a little bit painful because I'm not a perfectionist, but I do try to excel and do things the right way. I found that for a week there, I was sending emails to the wrong people, doing this because I needed to unplug. I'm on overload and I'm high energy anyway. That's just my DNA. But I'm saying, wait a minute, this pause power is exactly what you needed. So I thank you for this because I know, not that I mind standing alone, I'm not alone. And I know a lot of people could use this. What was your impetus? What gave you the seed of knowing that this was just needed and the timing was right?
yeah, so I actually am a computer scientist. I've been a computer scientist for 30 some years. And I found myself embedded in social media about 15 years ago. And I said, you know what, this enough is enough. And I deactivated my account. I kind of was a research project myself. And so I took 6 months off from social media and I actually disconnected from my phone for a whole year. And during that process, the first day that I did it, it sure was uncomfortable, right? So I had to learn to be uncomfortable or comfortable and uncomfortable. But what happened was I actually always had this stress on the back of my neck and it released. And it was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize the technology was doing this for me. So I actually ended up writing a bunch of stories and I put it in this book,
Yes,
and
yes,
it shares some of my experiences of that. And so why the answer to your question, why am I doing it now? Well,
yes.
right now I'm seeing so many people, just so many young kids, promising people having anxiety or committing suicide, just really some severe things in families. And I'm also seeing that the families themselves are very, very disconnected. And I just find that pausing gives us our time back in person with the people we love.
You know, Kim, thank you for that beautiful, clear, simplistic explanation. I completely agree with you. I don't believe there are any accidents in life. Even if you think the good, the almost good, and the so so, everything is in divine order. And what you just mentioned is my cry, too, especially for young children, because I volunteered with young juvenile delinquent girls some time ago until the pandemic hit. And I'm getting ready to go back now because I found there was such a need there. And I almost became a juvenile delinquent. The suicide rate among young people is never ending. And I do believe, I don't have any scientific facts about this, but you stress that you see it as well, that there's something about technology, as wonderful as it is, that's also a little disconcerting in different ways. So, how do you gave us some examples, but and you mentioned the family unit, which is very important to me, and that's something else that I'm headed towards too, working with families. But how do give us some more examples about how we can deplug, decide to
Right. So
unplug?
yeah, so the whole point is the practicing of the pause, because many times we don't proactively do that. And we just find ourselves that we're sitting in the back seat of the bus, right? While the device is driving us every day without us even thinking. So it really is just it's not hard, it's actually going to be fun, right? But it's actually the decision and the agreement with yourself that you're going to take your phone, your smartphone or your social media, and just shut it down. And that's the unplug. Once you do that, then it's the 15 minutes, right? It might take a bit to even break it up, right? Where you'd have to take 5 minutes because 15 minutes might be too much in the beginning. So breaking 5 minutes up in the day, so you actually just kind of have it maybe at the top of the hour 3 times a day. That would be the approach, right? Just, bit by bit, getting the experience. But the first decision is to unplug or turn it off. And that's what that week of support is, to support you in that.
I think there's no question. I think if you are, and I feel this in my heart, I know that this should be not only for me, from what I see around me, Kim, so many of us really need this because it is not easy to unplug because we're all kind of, it's a mild addiction. It really is. And so what you're offering, again, repeating myself, is so timely because I see and feel and sense that so many of us need it. I think what you said about the 15 minutes, a lot of people, myself included, are going to find that very, very difficult to be unplugged for that length of time. So, what you suggested is start off with little small, teeny bits of increments and do it that way. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, and I had some people actually practice it for 30 days, and they're going to come on and share live during that week what they experienced. And they also posted it on Instagram every day and showed everyone what they've done. And it was really fun to watch them. They were connecting with their grandparents. They were dancing and just doing silly things. And it was, it was like there was no, I'm not going to take a picture of myself and put it on social media. It was, I'm just doing this from my heart and I'm having fun and I'm sharing it with my grandma and she's laughing at me. And, it's just, and some people shared that they were trying to make major moves, right? And they were having the most difficult time just to find that time to pause and say, I'm going to pause, but they did it and they were proud of themselves.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. And you know what you mentioned, because I have this deep abiding something for children, for kids, because I have a gift, which is remembering what it was like for me. And no matter what your upbringing was like, a lot of people forget or choose to forget. I choose to remember for all the reasons, because kids like to have fun. And so you're giving them something they can have fun with, and they can share it with the people that they love and adore, and it can become a mutual kind of thing, which is good, because one of the things that kids have so much anxiety and stress about is that they're feeling somewhat isolated. And this is allowing them to do that. I call it, I don't know another word to use, intimacy of connecting with people. That type of connection is gone, because most of us are texting or Facebook messaging or whatever, voice, and it's not the same, no matter how gifted you are at it. So good for you. I say bravo to you. Now, before we go into a lot of other things about pause power, I want you to share with the audience a little bit about your extraordinary background and all the things that you do. I mean, a swimmer and all these other things. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so I actually have applied pause power, and then there's this time box approach as well in my life. And that's allowed me to actually free up other time so that I could do the fun things that I've never done before. And so I have done an Ironman, and I didn't know how to swim. And I set the goal a year and a half I said I'm going to do it. And then I put some mechanisms around and reached out and got a master swim coach. And then I learned step by step how to swim. But I took the pause, right? And then I set that time box around it and actually focused on learning small little parts of swimming, the breath, right? Learning how to breathe. I always felt like I was going to drown, right? So the Ironman was one. The other thing is I've been able to travel around the world and run a half marathon in all 50 states. It took me about 10 years, but I really enjoyed it. I got to meet all kinds of people, and they're so welcoming. They invited me in their homes, and they invited me to travel with them. So those are just some of the things that I've done, and it's really been fun.
You know what? Thank you for sharing that, because sometimes people don't want to talk too much about themselves. They're more interested in the project and what they're doing. But I wanted you to share from your voice what you've done here. And you know why? Because I wasn't aware of what you just shared with us. You said you didn't know how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing called willpower and that ability to change, which some people want to, but they don't have the ability to pivot and make that change. But you did it. And I say bravo to you. And not only that, the marathon run, I mean, really. And what you put in your bio to me, I really, really love, because I attempt to live by this too. Attempt to try and bring into your environment something new as often as you can. Stay
Mm-hmm.
open, right? Because so many
Right.
people today are closed-minded, and that's not good, no matter what your preference might be. I think that's fantastic. Now back to pause power. What have you found thus far, and the people that you're talking with, and you're sharing this wonderful, very visionary step that you're about, movement that you're in? Really, I see it as a movement. I don't know what you see, but that's how I
Yeah.
see it. What
Mm-hmm.
have you found thus far that it is most difficult for people to tear away from, to step away
So
from, to unplug?
I'm going to share both. What I found is easy is there's so many people that have been drawn to this whole pause power. It's just been crazy. I expected 15 people, experts to come, and I have 42 people that are going to share these amazing things that people can try while they pause. But the difficult thing for me is really having the conversation with the families that don't realize they might want to disconnect or unplug. I've had long conversations, maybe an hour, talk, and letting them talk, and then by the end they say, "Well, maybe I do need to unplug." So it's that is really the part. It's like the acceptance of let's try this, right? That's been the hardest. It seems so simple,
Uh,
right?
well, I've been around the block a few times, a few more times than you have. And one of the things I know with certainty is that it's the more simplistic it is and the easier it is, the more people are going to be able to grasp it and to get it. But it's
Yeah.
that first dabbling into it to see that that's the possibility, and then they're on board with it. But the key word that you use there, and it's for me as well in a different way, but families who have children, because the families are so immersed in what they're doing today that most of them, never all, they're not able to take the time to, even though the kids know that they're loved, not enough time for the children. So you're giving, and the family structure here, a whole new way to engage and to be involved in the boom, boom, boom. I think that's fantastic. It really is good. Now, what's the other side of that?
What's the other
The
side
other
of that?
side. Yeah, you said the good thing is that the family and the kids and coming together and having fun.
Yeah, I mean, the strengthening of families is going to be the biggest thing. The other side of that, I'm not quite sure what the question is.
Well, when I said what's the part that people find the easiest and what's the part that people find the most difficult to do when
Oh,
they unplug?
yeah. So the thing that I've learned is to just sit, and they feel like
Yes.
they're fidgeting all the time. They feel like they have to be checking their emails or they have to be checking their phone, and they're really uncomfortable in that space. That has been the every single person has shared that. And they know, they say, I know this is a practice, and every day it's getting a little bit easier and a little bit easier. And it's not hard, but it's just the feeling. And the whole point of doing this is to get reconnected with yourself, your mind, body, and spirit, right?
Oh,
That is so, so important, because if we don't know ourselves, how can we connect with other people?
oh my goodness. There are no accidents in life. I tell you, Kim, when I met you, I knew you just spoke my voice. You spoke my heart, my soul connected, because this is what I know for sure now. I knew it before, but now it's really resonating at my core. Know thyself. And one of the reasons that people find, and this is not a dig, it's not a negative judgment, find it so difficult to sit and be quiet and still because they don't know who they are. And a lot of them, most of them don't really like themselves. So they like to keep, and I'm sick of this word, it's nauseating to me, but I use it because it's habit sometimes, but busy, 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 because that makes them feel that, and it's not the actual truth of them. I love that explanation that you gave me, and it's spot on. I'm going to ask Kirill to put you in the green room for just a split second. And when I come back, I want to talk to you about how that's going to be on the calendar and how people can sign up for it and all that kind of stuff. And again, we're going to go a little bit deeper into what it's really going to do for them. We already know, but we want to hear it from you. So hold tight. I'll be back with you in just a second. Yay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. You see, my friends, there are no accidents in life. We don't just meet people by accident. Everything is in divine order. Even sometimes when it might not turn out to be what you want it to be, it can be very good. I have a masterclass coming up. I've been saying this since the beginning of time, but it's coming up next Thursday. It's July the 13th. And at this masterclass, I'm going to be presenting to you something somewhat new. I started to do it this Monday, and it's something that's going to be really beneficial, because what Kim just left us with and what I'm adding on to is this big, big, big hoorah, know thyself. So I want you to come and partake in it, because I'm going to be offering you a freebie. And that freebie is something that has to do with human design, which a lot of people know and a lot of people don't know about. But it's all about the discovery of you. So when she puts up the poster, it's going to be about how you're going to be able to get this freebie and know a lot more about you. And I guess she couldn't find it or couldn't put it up for whatever reason, but I'm going to make sure that the link is scrolling across. Just for you, designed for you. She brought it up. This is a link. Please, my friends, take a screenshot, take a snapshot. It's my freebie. It's designed for you, designing you. It's designing you is just an acronym. It really means that everything in there is all about you. Don't you want to know more about you? And maybe from another perspective, but the perspective that you came here and forgot. And this is going to give you that insight. Take a screenshot, take a snapshot, make sure it's free, it's yours, it's complimentary. And when you come to my masterclass, we're going to delve a little bit deeper into what it can offer you. You can't miss out on this, because this is, I've been around the block. I've done almost all of the cosmic alternative modalities that you can name. I've dabbled and drifted in and out, but I'm telling you, this has no comparison. That's all I have to say, but you have to discover that for you. That said, I want to get back to Kim, and I want to talk more about pause power, because I know that it's needed. It's needed by all of us. And when I discovered myself through a dear friend, she said, Joy, I think you meant to send this email to somebody else. I said, whoa, wait a minute. Slow down there, Susie, because that's exactly what happens. You get so caught up in the rhythm and the flow of what you're doing. And if you're not that focused and organized anyway, which truth be told, I'm not, then that can happen. So that's why I love what you're doing, because it's so needed. it's tell us a little bit about how they go about. I think Kirill can put up the poster where all they have to do is go, and she's going to run across here. This is what they have to do. Tell us a little bit more about that and how they get there and what they have to do and what it's going to be offering them.
Yeah, so they go to pausepower.online and they just sign up, put their name and their email, and then all you have to do is hit submit. And then you'll be in the class in the whole week, and then you'll receive all of the great, wonderful nuggets that we're going to be sharing. You're going to meet all these wonderful experts, and you're going to be able to meditate and do healing yoga with myself. And there'll be some other people teaching many different things. There's some nutritionists going to work in the kitchen with their kids and show you how to cook a meal. There's a chess player, grand champion chess player that's going to teach you how to play chess. There's a Tai Chi expert. We have 42 experts. So there's all kinds of people that are going to be sharing and supporting you and answering your questions. We're going to have some live sessions. So again, you go to pausepower.online. Once you're
Yes.
there, you just enter your name, your email, and then just join.
Is this going to become, Kim? I might know the answer, but I learned a long time ago. I never assume anything, and I always ask, and there are no stupid questions in my circle. How long is this event going to be, and how? And once people join, is it going to become a group, a club? What's the end result? What are you thinking about? How are you going to take this forward?
Yep. So there's going to be, first of all, it's going to be the 5 days to get yourself comfortable with it. And then there's
Yes.
going to be a membership that you can join. It'll be 90 days to start, so you can try it out. And then I'll be available for coaching 2 times a month. So you'll have live coaching for support and questions and answers. And there'll be all kinds of experts available. So it's almost like a library, and you'll be able to reach out to them to say, hey, I'd like my family to try this. I'd like my family to try that. I'd like to learn how to sit in silence. Can you help me with that? All kinds of people that will be there to help you.
Oh my goodness. And you know what's really good about this, because that thing called the library, which has kind of disappeared, and to an extent. I mean, there are always exceptions. And that was my second home. So I love that. And all the people who are going to be able to share their knowledge and wisdom and knowing with those who will partake of it, which is a good thing. I just think it's ducky that you're doing this, because it really is needed. But my question would be, for some of the work that I've been doing here of late, I'm wondering, and I'm hoping in the best way, very optimistic. I always take the high road. How many people are going to be honest enough with themselves to say, as I've just shared with you, I could take a break. I need to pause.
Right. So you saw that poster that said time management. Well, there's three
Yes,
stages. There's 3 stages to this. The first is the pause, which everyone's going to learn during that week. Then there
yes,
is a focused time box approach, that there is an agreement piece in that time box that people take. And many times we aren't actually agreeing on things with ourselves, or we're not being honest about the agreements we make. So when someone says, I want to go do something with you, will you come in with me? You might say yes, but in reality, you aren't saying yes. So that stage 2, which is the focused time box,
yes.
actually, I have master classes that people can learn how they become more aware that they actually aren't making agreements, or teach techniques on how that agreement can work. And it's very simple, very, very simple. And then the third stage is pivoting, which is there's change that happens, agreements change, our decisions change, and it's okay that
Yes.
that change. So the point is, you set a goal and then strategy, and then your agreements will change and pivot, and then I show those techniques in that stage.
I love that. A lot of this, I tend to get excited about a little bit of everything, especially if it resonates with me. But what you said there, all of it. But when you said that it's a way to connect with your loved ones, because this is what many people are losing, that intimacy, that real heart soul connection with others, because how technology is wonderful. I don't know how you could not appreciate it and value it, but yet we need to add in what you're hoping to give us. And here's a question for you. And I don't believe in putting people on the spot, but
Mhm.
I have this insatiable curiosity, and I just want to know. I'm that perennial ongoing student. Do you find, or have you found thus far? I know you have all these experts and influencers coming in to share their whatever knowing with others, but do you find that a younger generation, as opposed to the elder and the olders, are more susceptible and agreeing and marching to this pause power thing? What has your findings been there?
I have found that a lot of parents, ages
Good.
25 until probably my age or a little bit more, are
Yes.
more in wanting to get involved. They want their kids to get involved. So in fact, I have done 2 master classes on time management. One mom was there and she actually did it in her 16-year-old daughter's room so that her daughter could hear it and start doing and she actually, the second master class, she actually started coming on board. So, it's just the parents are struggling with, the empowerment, right? I don't want to be directing them. I want to empower them. How can I get them involved? Because I don't want to, put it in there, tell them they have to do it, because they're going
Right, right.
to make their own decision.
Do I love that response? You know why? Because here's what I know with certainty, and most everybody, I like the expression half a brain because it doesn't take a whole, but you have to know that the family unit, the foundational base, the structure is changing tremendously, has changed, and it will continue to change. And whereas my generation, your generation, the one ahead or behind had more time, don't have that today. So what you're doing and what you're offering to the parents and to the kids, it's absolutely it's it's visionary, and it really is great. And you can wear a tiara when you come next time because you deserve it, because very few people would take the time out to make a movement like this and put it out there, because people are making all kinds of excuses not to get involved, but we all need to get involved. I know that I did, and you brought it home to me, so I say bravo to you. Kim, I don't know where the time goes. I say the same thing. Should get a recorder and just push a button, but it does fly. It does go. I really celebrate, commend, and applaud you for what you're doing, because I know it's needed. It's needed for me for all the different reasons. And I know many people, I'm not going to say their names, they could use it too. So I hope that while Kirill is running across here, how you sign up and what you do, that you can tell us whatever else you want to leave us with, your food for thought, your takeaway, and it'll be so long for now. The stage is yours.
All right, thank you. So take a moment and unplug and pause. Turn off anything, any device or anything that beeps or distracts you, and go in a room and just sit in silence and then spend some time with your loved ones. Enjoy.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Thank you, Kim. I really want to promote you as often as I can and as much as I can. So please make sure that you post every chance you get on the 3 days that you're allowed to in Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, because my leading ladies in that group, many of them I love and adore, and it's a mutual admiration, but they need you too. So make sure
Aw,
you connect with them. And
I
thank you,
will.
thank you, thank you. Yes, she's going to put you in the green room, and I'll be with you in just a second. And thank you again. I love what you're doing. What can I say? Pause power. We all kind of need it. But we have to be honest with ourselves, because there is, and I use this word lightly because addiction is addiction, but this is a mild addiction that we have to learn how to pause, sit, walk away, and sit with ourselves. And sitting with ourselves for that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or longer, it means that you really have to become your best friend. And that's where this is going to be leading to. I just celebrate this lady because I think what she's doing is so timely. It's so needed. My friends, the time flies here each and every week that we're together. This was a great holiday week, Independence Day, a time to come together and be grateful for all that we have. And I'm grateful for you. Each and every week that you show up here and you watch the replays, I'm grateful for you. And I want you to know that there's a lot of new, absolutely exciting stuff in the hopper. My friend said, "What the heck is a hopper?" What the heck is a hopper? Well, you're going to find out. But see us next Thursday for the master class, and then know that it's going to be worth your time to attend. And I leave you at the same every week, because it's from my heart to your heart. Much, much love. Embrace it. Be well and take care, and enjoy the rest of this fabulous week. All the best, my friends. Cheers.